Justice with Judge Mablean will be life because in everything we do, it involves the law. Where's your witness?
In the evidence.
That's hearsay.
It's notarized.
I still say it's hearsay.
She's fair.
You gotta help these young men learn how to do this the right way.
Yes, Your Honor.
She's firm.
Can I say something, Your Honor?
No, I don't
Okay.
need to say anything else.
She's honest.
I'm not your child and I'm not your friend. That's the order of the court. Goodbye.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean.
All rise. Both parties raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Mablean presiding.
Thank you. You may be seated. In the matter of William Evans versus Bradley Anderson, Mr. Evans, you are suing Mr. Anderson asking $4,000 for defamation and emotional distress. You said you were humiliated by a photo he posted. And of course, Mr. Anderson says the photo was fair and it was honest and he doesn't owe you anything. So let me hear from both of you to see what I have to say. Starting with Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is William Evans, and I am suing the plaintiff, Mr. Anderson, for $4,000. He took a photo of my home and then made an advertisement out of that photo that has caused me real damage in my community, has caused people to drive by my home and stop and look at it and take pictures. I have neighbors now who I used to have relationships with walk by and point at my house. I've even had young children come by and I've overheard them say, "Oh, that's the scary house."
What did he say about your house?
His flyer, I have a copy of it here, Your Honor. It has a picture of my house about a couple days after a storm. We had a major storm come through. And so it was, the gutter was down. It looked really bad. He took a picture and he says, "Time for an upgrade."
Okay, let me see that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does it show your address?
No, ma'am. But it was in our mailboxes. It was in the whole neighborhood's mailbox. He went around and put them in each mailbox. And so it didn't need to be my address. Everybody knows, you know, we're small streets, we know each other.
And what's the address in the picture? Is that his address?
Yes, I believe so, Your Honor.
It's my realty company, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. And so people are coming by, you felt what, humiliated?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I've lived in the neighborhood for 5 years, a little over 5 years. And I have a good relationship. I'm a single guy, I don't have kids. I kind of stand out in the neighborhood because it's more families. But now I have people, like I say, coming by, they'll drive down our street in their cars and they'll stop, they'll notice my house. There's always a comment. I go to the store and people kind of look at me, "Oh, that's the house." And I'm sure it's because I've heard people say it.
But that doesn't look so bad. You said he came after, the gutter fell down after a rainfall,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Anderson, you're a young man. You're a realtor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why'd you feel the necessity to point out his house in your advertisement?
Well, so, Your Honor, I go around the neighborhood and all around the city, and I do these ads for the sense of just meme culture. I like to bring light to the community. You know, we already have
You're trying to bring business to you. Stop that light to the community, boo.
Well, of course, I like
Let's
to bring...
just be honest about it. You doing this as advertisement and marketing for your real estate business.
Of course.
Well, say that.
Of course, but in
You
that
ain't trying to bring no light to the community. You trying to bring bucks to your pocket.
Well, bucks to my pocket brings bucks to the community as well. When these houses sell, they bring in new clientele, new faces to the neighborhood, and in all of that, it is a community outreach.
But his house wasn't for sale.
His house may have not been for sale, but with the title of Time for an Upgrade, it might be time for an upgrade.
So why did you choose his house to advertise time for an upgrade? Because you're a realtor, you're not a contractor.
Yeah, I was driving by. I live in the neighborhood myself, and I noticed that there was, you know, a couple things in his yard, and the gutter had fallen down and from the storm. And I just
What were the other couple of things you noticed in the yard?
His lawn was overgrown, yellow, dead. The paint on the house could definitely use some work, you know, and just some smaller, you know, maintenance things, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that's, you know, unattainable by any measure. However, I did offer him $200 in return for this photo to do those home improvements.
Why did you offer him something before you took the photo? Why did you choose to take a photo of his house for marketing?
Well, like I said, I use the houses in the area because not only are they, rememberable for the people that live there, they can go down the street and say, oh, I know that house, I know where that's at, or this or that. So by doing this, it brings, like I said, light to the community.
You're a realtor trying to sell houses or buy houses, right?
Correct. But also, with that being said, we may buy a house and then put some money into it for some home improvement, then to get the higher flip side of it on the market.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
My business is kind of hurting. But I have...
So because your business is hurting, you want to hurt my business.
Okay.
I have people...
Stop.
Please.
Stop. I'll let you have a moment, but I'm not going to do that.
And later,
And they had the sparklers, the ceiling was low, so all the water sprayed everywhere, and it just went ballistic.
Who was making sure that you didn't go
I
over
would say
that
it was
limit?
him.
So you
Because-
say it was him and he said it was you.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of William Evans, who is suing Bradley Anderson for defamation and emotional distress.
So why couldn't you just go and talk to him about it?
Well, I drove by a couple times. As you can see, the blinds are closed. It doesn't really look too inviting. And when I put in his mailbox, he then gave me a call. And
No, I called you a dozen times. I called you over and over and over again, and you never responded. I kept trying to talk to you. I kept trying to, and then your response was, oh, well, I've already done it. Nothing I can do about it. Sorry. Come on. Be honest, man.
So what did you do? You left these just in the neighborhood mailboxes?
Well, the neighborhood mailboxes, and a little bit on social media here and there. I mean,
A little bit on social media.
like I said, it's for the meme culture. We like to bring a laugh
For
to
the
the community.
meme culture, that's what it's for, because it hurt me.
Okay, Mr.
sorry, Your
Anderson,
Honor.
you're not
Okay,
supposed to
well-
do that.
I'm sorry.
Well, if you would like to look, this is another ad I've done before. The ad that I've done in this, I drove by, like I said, another house in the neighborhood. They had a bunch of cars parked outside. I think they were having a family gathering. And there wasn't enough room in the driveway or in the garage. So I made this little meme and I said, I put a little text bubble above them and it says, hey, Bradley, I think we need a house with more garage space. And then there's a me photo right there. And I say, you think? I think that's hilarious. I mean, obviously, call Bradley and Associates Realtors. We'll get you the space you need. It's fun. It's friendly. It's meant to bring light to the community. Like I said, look how happy
So why
he
you
is.
do your house?
Well, my house, I wouldn't say it's too relatable for my clientele of ads I would use. I think
It's what?
I would like to, bring houses in the community that are more relatable to my buyers. So that's why.
So why is his house relatable to your buyers as
as
opposed to your house?
Well, I think the size of it, the upkeep of it,
Your house too big and too beautiful?
No, I would say I just I give a little bit more attention to my property than I've noticed that he does.
So that would bring people to the community to buy a house in a community that's well kept.
For sure. But I think in this day and age, we like to have buyers that come in and they get the fixer-uppers and they get the things that they can pour their heart and soul into to, make it a home. But Your Honor, like
I don't know what the world is coming to. People just infringe on other people's. You're not trying to upbring the community. You're trying to get you some more bucks in your business. So why couldn't you just ask, can I take a picture of your house? At some point, this goes too far. You all in this social media stuff and putting things and taking pictures of things and putting it up.
Yeah.
Why can't we have a little privacy?
Well, Your Honor, with the Privacy Act, I can take a picture of anyone's house from the street if they're not in the photo. Mr. Evans was not in the photo, therefore I did use his picture and I used it in good faith. There is nothing demeaning in the photo. There is nothing going against him. There is nothing shining light on the things that are outside of his house that even need fixing. The discrepancies in the photo are totally subjective for the owner himself. If he needs to fix his gutter and mow his lawn and, pick up the planters that have dead plants in them, maybe he should plant some new ones. I don't know what
I
to tell
got
you.
chronic asthma. I can't do it anymore. I'm a little too old for that. And I can't afford to have somebody come to do it because my business is kind of hurting. But I have...
So because your business is hurting, you want to hurt my business.
I have people...
Stop.
Please.
Stop. I'll let you have a moment, but I'm not going to do that.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Now, I think the neighborly thing for you to do is you took the ad off, but it's been seen now. I mean, you took the picture down.
Of course.
Is to go over there and put that gutter back up for him and help him out. to cut that tree down that's hanging over the top of his house. That's probably $200 for you to put that gutter back up, a piece of board.
That's what I was saying, Your Honor.
Go do it.
I have no problem going to do it myself.
Well,
the thing is that I offered out of goodwill to
well,
help
he
him.
rejected it then. He's going to
Because he
accept it
never
now.
apologized, Your Honor.
Okay,
not once.
apologize to him since it made him feel bad. Just apologize. Come on. What does it hurt?
I'm so sorry.
You have to live live in the neighborhood, live in the community. Don't you want the harmony? And then the kids running by, saying things. You don't want to hurt people.
Of course, that was never my goal. I
now
love this
that you
community.
know that it did, and as a good neighborly thing to do, and bringing harmony to the neighborhood, as you say,
of course,
go over there and fix that gutter, that piece of wood, cut that little tree down that's hanging, and give him some new pottery for his plants. Will you accept that from him?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
And you will allow him to come and do that?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
And next time, I think when you want to take a picture of the neighbor's house at least, I think that's the least you could do is ask a neighbor. If it's in your neighborhood, may I take a picture and post it of your house?
Of course, Your Honor. I will adjust my ways of business going forward.
Okay. All right. That's the order of the court. I'm not going to order him to pay you money for defamation because it's really not defamation. It's a picture of your house. Defamation is when it's not true. The picture clearly shows the condition of the house, so it's not defamation. It caused you a little emotional distress, and so that's why I'm ordering him to go make amends and do what I believe is the right thing to do.
I agree, Your Honor.
All right, that's the order of the court. I don't know how much that will cost you. You say a couple of $100. I think it shouldn't be more than that, so that's the order of the court. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to make repairs to the plaintiff's home.
That's really all I really wanted was an apology. So I appreciate that today you did that.
I hope that you can finally maybe one day see that it is time for an upgrade.
Coming up,
As part of running an event, you have to know whether your event planning falls within the rules of the venue. Now, you sounded like a stupid person.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
In the matter of Jefferson versus Keisha Randall, you're suing her for $8,000, which is the cost of damages to a hall that you rented as a result of some sparklers. And you say that she's responsible because she allowed the guests to use the sparklers. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your
Okay,
Honor.
tell me the story.
You know, I originally rented out this hall for my sister's graduation party. We booked it originally for about a capacity of 65 people max. You know, I'm peeping my head outside, making sure that line control is like happening and things like that.
Who was responsible for line control?
I would think you.
I didn't ask you to
Or-
answer.
Oh.
There's groups of people coming in through the door with sparklers in their hand, which it's pretty much a fire hazard, which resulted in the sprinklers going off and ruining the table. You know, if I may show you the pictures.
So you saw the groups of people coming in with sparklers in their hand?
Oh, yeah.
You were
I
too
did-
busy
I-
grabbing, getting your pictures together. But so answer my question. Did you
Yes.
see the groups of people coming in with sparklers in their hand?
Yes.
Okay, this room is beautifully decorated. So Ms. Randall, help me out.
Yes,
me what
Your
happened.
Honor. Everything went beautifully, as you can tell with the picture. We had a DJ, the food was set up very nicely, and she came in, Tiana. We had the music going, everything was nice. And then after that, her little rowdy friends came in, and it was about 10 to 15 of them, which turned the party into 100 people. And they had the sparklers, the ceiling was low, so all the water sprayed everywhere, and it just went ballistic.
Who was making sure that you didn't go
I would
over
say
that
it's
limit?
him.
So you
Because-
say it was him and he said it was you.
Coming up,
There is clearly a statement that says no firecrackers, none of that thing that could cause a fire and cause the alarm to go off. Was it not that clear in the contract?
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Jefferson, who is suing Keisha Randall for negligence.
Okay, now you say a group of people came in behind the guest of honor with sparklers in their hand?
Yes.
You saw them with the sparklers?
Yes, they asked me, can they come in with the sparklers? And then I said, sure, I guess. I wasn't sure. And
said sure?
Yeah, because it was at the last minute.
You've rented a hall for an event. There is clearly a statement that says no sparklers, no firecrackers, none of that thing that could cause a fire and cause the alarm to go off. Was it not that clear in the contract?
For the venue, yeah, that is stated clearly. However, within the scope of her services, you know, the coordination and supervision and scheduling of entertainment. So I feel like things were not happening on time and nothing was happening on schedule. It was almost as if there was not a schedule. And this is...
That's not what you said before. You said things were going smoothly, things were going well.
Smoothly.
You didn't read the rules and requirements of the venue.
He verbally told me about it, but
So then you were aware.
I wasn't aware of the fire, of not bringing in all that, no.
So he didn't tell you that rule when he read it to you.
Not really.
He read all the rules
he signed
except
the whole
that one.
contract. He signed the whole
And
contract.
Ma'am, you are double talking. You said you didn't read it, but he told you the rules and he read it to you. So, but he didn't read that part.
My whole coordination is for it to run smoothly, and
Answer the question.
I didn't read
Part
it.
of running smoothly of any venue when you're an event planner is knowing where the venue is, what it consists of, where the bathroom is, where the backyard is, where the escape is, and all of that. And you need to read the rules for the venue as part of running an event because you have to know that whether your event planning falls within the rules of the venue. Now you sounded like a stupid person.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
Just because you hire an event planner does not take away responsibility of your own, particularly when you've signed the contract and it all falls back on you. You really have to be diligent about it. It doesn't remove liability from you because you hired her, but I am ordering each of you to pay half of the damages that was caused because both of you acted irresponsibly. There was no one there controlling the crowd and checking to make sure you didn't exceed the number that you told the venue you were having. There was no one there controlling the crowd to make sure that you didn't come in with those sparklers, and certainly no one controlled it once they went off. So, Mr. Jefferson, you've already paid the venue the $8,000 for the damages, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so it is the judgment of the court, judgment for the plaintiff. Defendant is ordered to pay the plaintiff $4,000 to reimburse him because I'm assessing you $4,000 of the damages because I believe, it's my opinion, that both of you were equally responsible for it. So that is the judgment of the court.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $4,000.
I'm still an amazing party planner, and it is what it is.
This was supposed to be an amazing night for my sister, and it's just unfortunate it turned out that way.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.